This is the BIMids platform. It is an interactive website developed by Buildwise, the innovation center for the construction sector in Belgium, and CRTIB, the Centre de ressources et des technologies de l'innovation pour le bâtiment in Luxembourg. Its name, BIMids, stands for BIM and IDS, Information Delivery Specifications. Based on discussions and reflection with BIM experts, the platform aims to become a national and international reference for defining information exchange requirements. First of all, when you arrive on the site, you have the option of choosing the country concerned. We have made the choice because the requirements or reference to laws may differ depending on the country concerned. You can also choose your preferred language for browsing. First, you will arrive on a home page that explains the background to the creation of the site, a few definitions related to BIM, and what is offered on the platform. At the top of the page is a navigation bar showing the different parts of the site. You can also change the country and language at any time. Let's explore the first tab, Good Modeling Practice. The Good Practice tab tells you what important things need to be defined before starting any BIM project. There are two parts to it. Firstly, the good practices to be defined at a model level, such as defining a common coordinate system between the different models, but also having common axes and levels that are well defined from the outset between the different project partners. This is essential to ensure good coordination of the partial BIM models, in other words, between the architectural, structural, and technical models. Then there is a second part that sets out good modeling practices at the level of the BIM elements. It talks about classifying elements correctly, using the right object categories, avoiding overlapping elements, and much more. Then there is the third and most important tab, the element list. Here you have a list of around 100 construction elements. These may be architectural, structural, and technical elements. They are organized into groups of elements, each containing similar sub-elements. For example, in the page wall, you will find prefabricated walls, timber-framed walls, masonry walls, and so on. This structure also follows the IFC classification, since each page contains an IFC class. Different filters are available to help you find the element you are looking for. You can filter by discipline, architectural, structural, or technical. You can also filter by letter. And finally, there is a search bar to find the element you are looking for. For example, if you are looking for items relating to fire safety, you can type fire. You can also export the pages using the export tool and use the filters to select the information you want to retrieve. This tool is useful for creating an EIR, Exchange Information Requirements, a document that has to be drawn up by the project owner, setting out his requirements in terms of phase and discipline or person in charge. Let's type the word foundation and you will see the related page appear. This brings you to an element page, in this case the deep foundation. In each page, you will find the information you need to provide according to the BIMids reference. We favor the OpenBIM approach, meaning exchanges between different native software, for example between Revit and Allplan. This is done using the IFC format, an open standard supported by many native software packages. Mappings between elements and properties are therefore presented in IFC format in order to promote and simplify exchanges between different native software. The element page is divided into three main parts: the mapping between elements and the IFC classification, the provision of information in the BIM model along 3 axes, the geometry level, how the element should be physically represented in the model, the information level, what information should be attached to the element and mapped into the IFC format, the documentation level, which indicates what documentation must be supplied with the model. These 3 levels are also detailed according to the phase you are in. The more the project progresses, the more information needs to be provided. These levels also follow the concept of the level of information need. This means thinking about what information needs to be provided depending on how it will be used. This avoids providing unnecessary information, overloading the file and also the encoding. Finally, a classification table lists the possible classification of this category of elements. You can customize the way the page is displayed by using the upper filter banner. This allows you to select the information relating to your discipline, but also to the use case, the desired IFC version, and the native software you are using. You will see which native property to use or how to classify the elements. Each property has its own definition to make sure you are talking about the same thing. Since we are mapping the properties to the IFC format, for the most part, they follow the Building Smart definition. However, for certain properties that we felt were missing, we decided with the working groups to add some. These are the properties beginning with BIMids, indicating that they refer to this initiative and not another. Now that you are aware of the properties to be provided in your model, you need to integrate them into your software and start modeling. To do this, we provide configuration files for most common native software. With just a few clicks, these files enable you to configure the mapping tables for IFC export and add the required properties. This saves you having to create properties one by one in your software. The Software Guide tab explains you step by step how to integrate and fill in these properties in your native software.